Hello, this is only for our members.
Hello.
This is still a birthday present.
It's my birthday present.
Yeah, but Indiana wanted me to do it as well. So we're going to do our swaps today and then see where we come from. We have, of course, an idea where we come from.
I know it's because I was coloured.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. So the only thing we have to do is very simple. Just pull it all out, darling.
Actually, it'll be interesting.
So, look. You only need those two things and those two things. I'm just waiting for him to catch up. You open those. Oh, not yet. Sorry, there's fluid in it. Ooh, almost did it wrong. All right, we open a swap, darling. There. And then for 30 seconds to a minute, one cheek. And this one, we do the other cheek.
On marks, get set.
Yeah, I didn't know it took so long, a minute. Dip it in.
Dip it in.
And then you break it on that black, so you hold it tight there. And then you close it, this one. Oh, wow. There's now my DNA in there.
That's my DNA in there.
I hope nobody in my DNA line has committed a very serious crime, because you do know that now they have solved murders by tracing down, for example, a cousin of the murderer. The cousin did this, and then they knew that the rapist or the murderer, they found DNA profile. Hey, that is, and then they exactly know who to look at.
What I'm more worried about is that somebody will come along and clone me one day.
Oh, but that would be nice. The world would be a better place. That's good. So that's one.
That's one.
And now we do the other side. Here we go.
On your marks.
On your marks.
Get set. Yeah.
Oh.
That was a long time.
Yeah. Okay, we repeat this whole process. How do we know if this is not a scam, really?
Probably is.
No, but I mean, what if they say I'm Chinese or...
Well, they're probably right, because they say it.
Oh, is there not a sticker on? How do they know it's ours? Oh, the codes are on the file. So this code must correspond with that one. Yeah.
Oh, right, I see.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm related to Gunga Din.
I am Genghis Khan. How is that said? How do you say that?
Genghis Khan.
Genghis Khan. I think I am related to that person.
I think I'm related to Alexander the Great.
Except all. It will be interesting to see what they come up with. We both know we are Western European because you have Welsh ancestors. I have Dutch ancestors, and I know my maternal grandfather is from England, an American, but from English. But I also know that my mother's side comes from Africa. So, but I will be interested to know if they know which part of Africa. I think I come from the western part of Africa.
Got to be to do with the slaves, because they were slaves where your grandmother come from.
Yeah, they brought them to South America in it. So my grandmother's family comes from Africa. They were brought over to South America. I know that I have ancestry from Africa, and I know I have ancestors from Western Europe. Let's see what comes out. Okay, so where do you come from?
Me?
Yeah, what do you know for sure?
Well, my father was Welsh, and somewhere in his line, because my dad was dark coloured, and which is where I get my colour from. My mother was Greek Cypriot, but she was white Greek Cypriot.
Yeah.
So it never made sense, and she always said, I always thought I got my colour from my mother, and she said, no, it's from your dad. And then one of my relatives done a family research, and said that there was a Moor in the family who got washed up on the Cornish coast, and he's one of our ancestors. So that would be interesting, and so she thinks that she confirms the dark gene comes from my dad. That'll be interesting to find out if that story is true or not.
Yeah.
About the Moor.
So, and the Moors came from Spain, but originally from Northern Africa.
Yeah.
So see if that comes up on your DNA. That's very interesting, isn't it? Yeah. So then we can see if it is accurate or not. And maybe we have Neanderthalers. Oopsie-daisy. Would that come out?
Neanderthal.
Do they say, do they not say you have 1% Neanderthal? I have heard people say.
It varies.
Yeah, but I have heard people say that they do say that to some people.
It varies in people. Some people got like a small amount, like 1%, and it goes up to 4.5%.
Wouldn't it be really funny if I had Viking?
Viking? Of
Viking
course
in me.
Yeah, you must have, because your dad is proper Dutch.
Yes.
I mean, he's blonde and...
Yeah, my Dutch family is Dutcher than Dutch. I have been able to trace them back to the 1300s.
Wow.
And they were in one village, centuries after century, in one village.
Yeah.
And hundreds and hundreds of years ago, one of the family members came from another village 15 miles away. 15 miles away.
Yeah, and
and
killed
that's
him.
it. Yeah, Dutch.
The stranger.
So yeah, for my father's side, Dutch. But I was more thinking about my grandfather from the American grandfather from English ancestry. They ended up in America with what is that boat's name?
The Mayflower.
The Mayflower. And they came also, I have been able to go back to the 1500s, because the record stops here in Britain on the website I went, 1500s. And if you go further back than the 1500s, you're all related to royalty suddenly. So that's a key.
I always knew I was related to royalty. Yeah.
Now the first time I saw this, there is a king in our family. And it's just total BS.
Bullshit.
But anyway, 1500s, and they also stayed in the same Leicester. Is that how you say it? Leicester?
Yeah, Leicester.
Is that close to York and where the Vikings were?
Yeah.
So I expect there must be Viking blood there in that area.
But the Vikings, they went all around the world. They even found out now that they're in America. So if you're a Native American Indian, you might also have Viking blood in you.
Yeah, but
I mean, there's no such thing as
but
a pure race.
my American ancestors come from England, so
yeah.
But in Holland, we never were told that the Vikings were in Holland, or they didn't. I forgot.
Of course they are. The standard Dutch person is blonde-haired and blue-eyed.
Well,
like your dad.
They do say that from the Swedish too, but the Swedish people said that's not true. But
You
I
can't
don't
have
know.
Mind you,
Yeah, we are a lot blonde people.
I
in
was
Holland.
watching a program the other day, and they said that if you go back to the Viking era, that they discovered, the archaeologists or whatever they call themselves, they discovered that there was more blonde people in the Nordic countries right now than what there was then, because they would they would bring people in, and so they don't really know.
Do you know? I think, because this is what I think, and I can't prove it and I don't believe it, but I think the possibility most likely is we all come from Africa, that there the source of life started, and then we went up north inside, and because we stayed in a climate where there was not so much sun, our DNA changed, evolved for us to make it possible to live in climates with less sun. So we didn't need the brown pigmentation in our skin to protect us. So our skin became lighter and lighter, and our hair became lighter and lighter. That is how I think we evolved.
Well, it is.
I think we all were black to start with. All black hair, and then we evolved into lighter races?
Well, there's a theory, or I don't know if it's a theory or a fact, that the African people, they didn't have certain things to survive without so much sunlight in the north, and they reckon that what happened, they intermingled, they had sex with the Neanderthals who were already able to live in that kind of climate in the north, and so that give the African people what they needed to survive in northern type hemispheres.
But where did the Neanderthals come from?
Well,
don't you think they also came from the same strand? Don't you think we all come from the same strand? Let's say, some people say we have evolved away from chimpanzees, is it?
Yeah.
So, and then different groups, but I think we all come from the same sperm. That's what your mom said. His mom used to say that.
It's funny though, because
we all come from the same sperm.
The further, I mean, I've taken some interest in it because I just have but they always keep changing it. But they say the further back you go, that there was a bottleneck, and the races as you now came from this bottleneck. But before the bottleneck, there was many more diverse bipedals, if you want to call it.
Right. But they died out, didn't it?
Yeah, something happened.
Yeah, so that we still come from the same then, isn't it? All the others fell away, so the strongest ones went up. So we still come from the same then, isn't it?
I don't think they know really.
No, I'm not talking about what they know, what we think.
Yeah,
I think we all come from the same. Yeah.
Hypothesis, actually.
Yeah, and also logic. You reason it out logically, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think we all come from the same seed, same branch of evolution.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Well, I think life is so diverse and so so much of variation that it's difficult to pinpoint it coming from a single amoeba cell, like they say. And because they say now that, for instance, if you look, they said that when they looked at it, so they sent the light through the slit, and it should have come through as these dots. What do you call it? Not waves. There's waves, and there was like spots of light. And so when they looked away from it, it became a wave, and then when they looked at it, it became dots of light. So it means that what they suggest is that it knew it was being looked at. So when you observe it, light is conscious, it knows it's being looked at, and that's the smallest form of life there is. So it means basically that that's atoms, and that everything in the universe is made up from atoms, and it's conscious, it's aware.
Beautiful.
And
by looking at it, you change it as well, or do you act, or what is the looking? What is the looking doing?
It changed it. It was just aware. It was being watched, and it changed from the spots of light to waves of light. And
that's interesting, because is that maybe why people don't like when people look at them? Because you're looking at somebody, you can sense it even from the fact that somebody's looking at you. Is really interesting. Oh, and how many cultures have a certain coin or a certain thing around their neck because to scare off the evil eye? In my mom's culture, they wear a black ukri eye. It's a black little, I will put it in, and when a baby is born in our family, they all get it from my mom, It's to protect the child from the evil eye. And your culture has it too, the Greek culture. They have blue things with an eye on it. Blue.
Oh.
Don't you know that?
And the ancient Egyptians.
Do they have it?
And the Freemasons.
What do they have? They have not a warding off for the evil spirits.
Well, it's an eye over the top of the pyramid.
Oh yeah, the Illuminatis have an eye?
Yeah, they got it on the dollar, haven't they? The American dollar.
So there is something in.
Yeah,
looking.
but in the army, like in the special services, they teach them not to stay when they're gonna jump up on them from behind, not to stare at them, but to just do it without looking at them, because people pick it up, like psychically, that somebody's coming from behind.
Do that again. So they teach you in the army not to look at whom?
Well,
at the enemy.
No, if you're going to kill somebody from behind,
yeah,
like the special services does,
yes,
you know, special operational units,
yes,
during the war,
yes,
they would teach them to do it without looking at them for long, because
they would sense
if
that.
you stood there looking at them first, they would sense it.
Oh wow, interesting that the army does that too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really interesting.
And
your dad was in the special services.
Yeah, yeah.
Too bad he is not with us anymore. We could have asked him.
Killed him in the end.
So
he suffered with PTSA.
PTSA?
No.
Post-traumatic
stress
syndrome. PTS.
Something like that anyway.
Post-traumatic stress
disorder.
PTSD.
Ah.
Yeah. He died 45?
Yeah.
45 years old.
Yeah.
It didn't exist, that label didn't exist, but he definitely was damaged. Your mom told you stories.
Yeah.
Well, let's see.
Okay, yeah.
And we did it from My Heritage DNA. Why did we do this one? Because it was the cheapest.
Oh,
yeah.
Cheapest.
So let's see what comes from it. And maybe those more expensive ones have an. We spoke to a lady in a supermarket who was totally into DNA stuff, and she is waiting for one of the most expensive ones to give an offer.
Offer?
That it comes on offer, the kit.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And then she will do that one as well. She has done most of them.
She's done most of them?
Yeah.
And what did she say about them?
Yeah, she just loves it.
Aye, but are they contradicting each other? Or?
No.
She never said that?
No, but this one only gives us a rough estimation where we come from. But you have, I don't know which one, they also go into what kind of illnesses your DNA.
Oh, this one?
No.
Oh, right. Okay.
No. They can tell you that you're prone to heart disease or prone to cancer or prone to, and not everybody wants to know that.
No.
Some people are strong enough to stay above it, but other people might become absolutely upset by knowing, because they make it clear that if you have a disposition or something, if you have something on your gene, sensitivity to cancer, doesn't mean you are going to get cancer. There's more to it for you to develop that, or heart disease, or
in my life experiences though, and I would say what do you call it, more susceptible unless you come to the right conditions in your life, and it's always emotional stress.
Yes,
induced.
But the power of belief is so strong that it might not be healthy for a lot of people to hear that you might develop cancer.
Yeah.
Because some people will totally focus on that, and then like what you believe is what you become.
Yeah.
So yes.
Yeah. Well, that's what a lot of people are getting from that experiment I just spoke about with the light, waves of light or dots of light. What do they call it?
You should look
spots of light, because you can influence just by looking at something, you can influence the behavior of light, which is conscious. Then it means that by
focusing mentally
on something,
is the same thing, isn't
that you
it?
can make it real.
Yeah, so because focusing
we're atoms.
is an inner looking, isn't it? Looking physically is you focus with your eyes on somebody and they sense it. So your inner focus is also a looking.
Yeah. And did you know that those atoms, they're made up of 99.99% of nothingness?
Wow.
Which means that basically 8 billion people of the world, if you took all the nothingness away out of them, you could stick them into a sugar cube.
Yeah.
8.8 billion people of the world.
But the nothingness contains everything, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, that's what I speak about enlightenment a lot on our channel. Is it this one or the other one?
The other one.
On the other channel, I speak about my experience, or if you know that word experience is a bad word for enlightenment, but because we are speaking verbally, we have to say experience, but it's not. It's a non-experience, and that experience of enlightenment is about going into nothingness. Yet, in there, everything dissolves, but yet you know that you're a part of everything, which is, you know, a bit of a contradiction again.
Yeah.
But that's why it's beyond your mind. You go beyond the mind and you go beyond the self and time and breath. So it's like it's a funny world once you start talking about that, and it's the same thing with physics. When you start talking about atom structure and quantum and all that, it starts going a bit doodah when you try to use words to explain the nothingness state.
Yeah. Well, maybe they come back and say you're connected to nothing. You're aliens. You're not from this planet.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
think that's where I come from.
if you want to know more about our results, come back to our channel. Keep an eye open. This video is for members only, so make sure you put a notification bell on so you know when we get the results. I have no idea. It's going to take weeks, maybe a month even.
It'll take that long for Dan and Mazzy?
Yeah, weeks. Yeah, but I think you don't get the results through the post. I think you get it through the app.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right then. Thank you for joining us.
Hello,
See you
bye.
next time. Bye.